Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 46 and today we have got something very important to do. For those of you who saw the end of the previous episode of Hermitcraft, you will know that, well, something bad has happened. We've sorted out all of the stuff. That's not the bad thing. The bad thing is this. Now this may not look particularly exciting, but we put some blue stained glass into the system. And it's not there. It's not in there, is it? And we need to work out why on earth it's not even in there. I don't even have any plans for the episode yet. I haven't even planned out this episode yet. This is all I want to do at this point in time. But I'm in a very good mood because I've just finished Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, read by Stephen Fry, and I've discovered that the next audiobook in the series, The Restaurant at the End of the Universe, is read by Martin Freeman of all people. It's narrated by The Hobbit. So I just did an accidental test by accidentally mining some stone above this hopper that accidentally dropped into the hopper and went through the system, and I noticed that it didn't get any further than this module, which means that we could actually be onto something here. There has got to be somewhere where these items are sticking. There has to be somewhere that they are getting stuck. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Maybe the item elevator isn't working. There. Oh my word! There it is! The culprit! There is a redstone torch missing! We found the problem! It's not a problem with the sorter in the slightest. The item elevator wasn't working, which means that the items weren't making their way up. Right, I'm going to check every single one of these things, painstakingly, with my eyes very squinty. And then I'll see if it still works. Found another culprit. That would have caused me many, many hassles. Right, I think that's just about covered. I mean, what are the chances? What are the chances of me building a glaring error on the first module, so that every test that I do completely fails? Oh. Here goes the first test then. I've put 16 purple into that hopper right there, and that will transport it across. Now we are going to transport ourselves across over to the chest, if I can manage to find it, and we should see 17 purple terracotta in the position in the purple chest. Now my heart is going a little bit. Let's make sure it's not a trap chest so that we can observe this. Okay. Not a good sign so far. Really not a good sign. It is a trap chest. Therefore, I may have broken the system a tad. The first try! But it is working. You can see, the items are there. I've just been a total moron. I think I may have got a little bit ahead of myself in the previous episode because there are still some little gaps in the storage system where we haven't filled in all of the sorted items. For example, the bottom of the redstone section. Now, I've just done all the tripwires and done an extra input chest, but there's still these little sections left. I should know redstone daylight sensors. So I'm back once again. This time I need to get myself some jungle leaves, which I've got all the other different types of leaves apart from that one. So that's going to go in the storage system, and now I actually have to punch leaves to try my best to get a sapling. I'm sorry to the guys from NHO. I'll do this in a slightly more private area. I feel like you might not like me punching out your leaves right at the entrance. So now I can say with absolute certainty that that one's done, this one's done, and this one is done because I've replaced all of this and I've actually put in all of the different types of stairs and cobblestone, which is good. The only thing that we don't have is bricks, but I've never used bricks before in Minecraft, and I don't plan on doing it in this season, so I don't think we're going to need that. This one is all good. This isn't, and this isn't. In the interests of fixing at least some of the isn'ts, I've popped over into the mob spawner area. I'm currently in the process of picking up mob drops from these guys. I need lots of bones, a little bit of rotten flesh. We've got gunpowder, but I'm also going to need string and potentially some witch drops as well. And probably blaze. I think Cubfan's got a blaze farm, I seem to remember. Only issue is I have absolutely no idea where Cubfan's Blaze Farm is. I've been watching his videos, I've been trying to work it out. It doesn't seem to be signposted anywhere. I've been running up and down his tunnel. I can't seem to find it. I've been doing this for the past half an hour. New plan. I have found another fortress, and I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way. We have got to get ourselves about 2 stacks of blaze rods, which shouldn't, in theory, be too difficult. However, I don't have any fire resist potions, so if I die, well, that's just to be expected, isn't it? I now have a new plan, which is to kind of do it manually. And you know what? It's actually not that much of a bad idea. I just stand here for a little while, one of them spawns, I then punch him inside this little creation that I've made, and we can get... It's not the most efficient system so far. It's a bit of a work in progress, but it's coming along quite nicely. Oh no, 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 no. Oh my word. Oh my word. Okay, I might not have thought this through. Things are swiftly getting out of hand with my technique in that I keep trying to get close to kill off the blaze that are currently standing there, and more keep spawning. And wow, that was a hell of a dodge. I'm just going to run away for a while, I think. This should just about do it. After about 3 hours of resource gathering and running around the entire Hermitcraft server trying to find all of these things and get all of these things together, I think I might have finally done the mob section. Now, this wasn't something that I was originally planning on doing so soon, simply because, of course, I don't have any of these mob farms yet, but I thought it would be good to do for the future. And one thing that I thought I'd also add is storage for all the different types of prismarine. So we're going to have that one, and then I guess that one, and then the sea lanterns, prismarine shards, and prismarine crystals. That does the trick. Very, very good. Ender pearls, rotten flesh, we've got all the different blaze, we've got string, we've got gunpowder in the bucket load because we need lots of that, and we've got bones as well. This thing will never end. It will never, ever end. And we're back once again. Probably just need like 2 or 3 of them. Just come on, hurry up, get in the tube. After lots of further tweaking and filling in items that apparently I had missed in the previous episode, I think we're ready to do our first long distance test. So I've put some bones in the system. Now bones are all the way around here, all the way around the back, and they are all the way over. There's a creeper there, so I'm just going to run around this way, you know. I'm going to leave him be. It's all the way around back this side, so that means it has to go through every single one of the modules, checking through every single one of the chests to reach this point right about here. So hopefully we should begin to see a bunch of bones beginning to flow into the system, eventually. That'd be very nice. If this goes wrong, I will cry and cry and cry some more. Found the first problem. There was a hopper that was not placed in the correct orientation. Okay, let's start this again. In fact, we know for a fact that it can reach this point, so let's send it on from there. Now with the second account, I can actually fly across the back here and see each one of these modules activating as we go along. And I can also catch issues, apparently. That one not so clearly explained. Is there any particular reason why it would stop there? None that I can see, but one that I can see there. By the look of things, very slowly my items are coming in. We have got 7 bones, 8 bones so far. Now let's see if we actually get the full 24. This is going to be the interesting thing. I don't know how we would lose one, but I'm just hoping that all of them get sorted into the correct places. Wow, this thing is slow though, isn't it? Jeez. Not good. Not good news at all. I wonder if some of them have got stuck in the item elevators. Let's do another test, this time with sand. Yeah, we'll do a test with sand. So it has to get to there. Yet another problem has just cropped up. I have discovered why the system is running so slowly, And that is the fact that this thing right here was only running on a mini redstone clock, like a very, very slow redstone clock, which actually means that, in theory, I think some items could have got stuck. So once again, I'm going to triple check that all of the others don't suffer from the same thing. Because by the look of things, oddly enough, very oddly enough, the sand probably hasn't dropped into the system. I mean, it seems to be traveling through? Maybe there's just maybe a chance that actually the bones are still traveling through because of how slow it was in the previous clip. Oh, this is all so confusing. Yeah, okay, so the bones have kind of made their way through the system and ended up in the correct place. I guess that one little error there was just holding up the whole system and stopping it from actually sending through the items. Well, that solves that, but there's still so much more testing to do. I'm going to start chucking in other items and seeing exactly what the machine does. Yep, safe to say everything's functioning fine. We are currently feeding in gunpowder, but these ones are trap chests, so I can't actually observe it, but it is all working. Absolutely no problems there, and this is one of the furthest points in the storage system. So, I guess now it is time to actually start putting in all of the items that I have into this thing. We're going to need to create an input, and we're also going to need to do a lot of item placing. Yeah, a lot of item placing. So this is the current input chest. I've already put a whole bunch of items into the storage system, and I think they're all being sorted through, or at least fingers crossed, they're all being sorted through. But now, I guess I'm gonna have to pick up this stuff and start putting it in. And already I'm starting to notice items that I definitely don't have in the item sorter. Things like weighted pressure plates, for example. I don't have any of those. And gold ore. But most of it I actually do. I've got quite a good amount of coverage here. Don't have any of that. Don't have those, but how many of those do I really have? Yeah, this shouldn't be too bad. But alas, I have run out of time for today. So what I'm going to do is chuck out all the rubbish from the AFK fish farm once again. And then I'm going to get myself set up with the fishing rod. You guys know the drill by now. We're just going to get ourselves a bunch of awesome books. Well, by the look of things, that was mostly unsuccessful. I mean, we have some books here and there, and I'm sure there's some good ones in the mix, including mending, which is very nice. And another mending one, we seem to be overflowing with those now. We've got a whole bunch of them. But other than that, it looks like we were kicked from the server pretty swiftly. Bummer. Alright, okay. Next up, we have got to move all of my storage into the storage system because the storage system is now fully functional. I think we should do this in the form of a time lapse. So in today's time-lapse chat, I want to give you guys a bit of a campervan update because it's been a while since I've done one, and also there's some confusion down in the comments section and on Twitter about just how unreliable the campervan actually is. Essentially, the Twitter and my filming channel are very much out of sync, and that's due to the fact that I got locked out of the filming channel, which means that I kind of got delayed in posting all of the videos. But people have seen me tweeting about the campervan breaking down on Twitter, and then they saw the video release on the filming channel, I think, last week, where it showed the campervan broken down in the video, and people assumed those were two separate events. But nope, they are the exact same event. The campervan has only broken down once. Now I'm going to run you through all of the problems that the campervan has had so far. So it's had a minor fuel leak due to a fuel hose up near the fuel tank, at the very top of the fuel tank, so it would only leak when the tank was completely full. But that was fixed. That was like a super easy fix. I think it cost like £4 for the tube, so that was all done. Then we had a fuel leak from the right-hand carb because the float inside the carb got stuck, and it's been doing that quite a lot lately. And also I've got an air leak on the left-hand carb, so all of the carbs are actually being replaced. I was going to rebuild them. I kind of considered rebuilding them, but I think that's something that I'd like to do in my spare time. So I've replaced the carbs. I'm keeping my old cards, and who knows? I might end up restoring them and rebuilding them at some point because I think that would be a fun project to work on. So that's all fixed. We had an oil leak from the bottom of the dipstick, which is because the dipstick is in a really odd position. I don't really understand why it's like this, but it kind of comes straight out into the top of the engine bay. So when you take the dipstick out, you kind of have to bend the dipstick tube, and I think years and years of that happening has meant that the seal at the bottom of the dipstick has essentially gone, and it started just pouring oil out of it all of a sudden, and that was a big problem. But we've managed to fix it now. We did a little bit of like sealing and managed to get ourselves a washer in there, and we're looking into getting a new dipstick, but for the time being, it seems to have fixed it. So those are the three main problems that I've had. And then most recently, the one that caused it to break down is a minor electrical issue in the dynamo, which is the thing that actually charges the battery of the camper van. The dynamo basically gave up on me, and that meant that the battery wasn't being charged, which meant that I broke down. But that's it. Those are all the problems. So hopefully once the dynamo gets fixed, we get the new carbs in, it is going to be running right as rain. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. The issue is, classic cars, they're always going to be like this. The camper van is in perfect condition. There's no rust. The engine has only got about 25,000 miles on it, and it's in perfectly good nick. If you actually look in the engine bay, it's perfect. But it's almost 50 years old. It's about 45, I think. So it's getting there, which means that unfortunately you just have to deal with this unreliability. This not as good as modern cars. Our technology wasn't so good back in those days, so it's just something you have to deal with. It's all part of classic car ownership. Anyway, let's pop back onto the Hermitcraft server. And all the items are now in. As you can probably tell from my frame rates right now, the system is up and running, and every single one of the modules is probably currently firing, which means that we have got a lot of items flooding through the system. And we're going to have a lot of items flowing through this thing for a while. Oh, I'm so sorry to all of the people on the Hermitcraft server. Oh my word. I mean, this is going to be a one-off thing. It's not always going to be this serious. Are there any modules that aren't firing? Those ones aren't firing. So that's good. It could be laggier. Hopefully nothing's breaking. So all the stone slabs are going in there. Yeah, everything should, in theory, be working. And by the look of things, everything is working. I've been seeing items dropping into the system here, there, and everywhere. But we have got a lot of items that are currently flowing in. I think we have kind of like 12, maybe 14 double chests of items that are currently just being put into the system right here. But that should clear up all of the chests that we now have in the base. And that means that we can finally start using this thing. Finally! See, look, it's working. It's working really well. Stone slabs are going in. They're dropping in right there. We've got all of the other bits and pieces. We can see things are happening. Stacks are going in. It is working. So cool. So cool. Fully functional storage system. Oh, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well, I guess I'm going to have to AFK over here for probably quite some time to wait for these things to actually flow in all of their items. Also, can I just say that this room right here looks considerably better now that we don't have all of the chests in the center. This thing looks really cool. Anyway, I think to round things up in today's Hermitcraft episode, what I'm going to do is just grab myself a handful of sea lanterns and do just a quick, very quick ocean lighting mission, because that's still a project that we've got to work on. The one thing that I forgot is probably the most important item. My breathing torch. Without my breathing torch, I think I probably would have struggled quite a bit. Especially with the fact that I no longer have a decent helmet due to this thing not running out. I might just bang my head against the wall for a while. Things are coming together pretty nicely. All of the sea lanterns are going in. We are gradually making our way around into this kind of dipped area of the ocean. And everything is looking really cool, as per usual. But once again, I mean, the more sea lanterns I place, it's almost like the less progress I seem to make with this thing. Because I take a step back, I look at it and think, huh, absolutely nothing's changed. That's kind of how it's been going for the past couple episodes of me doing this. I've occasionally dropped in and placed a few here and there, but for the most part, yeah, it's quite difficult to tell. I mean, I dread to think what it's going to be like once we get out to this sort of area here. It's going to take like a good few hours just to do 1/4 of a strip. I come up with daft ideas for projects, don't I? Really daft, silly ideas. Okay, I think that just about does it for today. I've extended out the sea lanterns in a little bit of a strange setup, but they kind of fly off in that direction, and then we've got this area here that kind of travels along like that. It's quite difficult because obviously that's a ridge there, so you follow along it, and then really you should be going across like this. But we have done, I think, maybe 2, potentially 3 laps of the entire thing, and I'm fresh out of sea lanterns. And now we need to pop back and see what this thing looks like from above. Now, for once, I do actually have some fireworks, so hopefully we can get ourselves some lift. I said get ourselves some lift. I said get ourselves some lift. 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 That's it. Okay, we've got ourselves some lift. And now we should be able to see this thing from above. Which, as per usual, it looks very big, but largely unchanged. I would say that's a fair comment to make. It does look huge, though. And very, very cool. But largely unchanged. Okay, well, there we go. That is that. Ocean lighting is going well. I do feel like at some point in the near future I'll have to just do a full episode of ocean planting, placing, where we do it for like 8 or 9 hours and just see how much progress we can make in that time. I think that could potentially be quite a fun thing to do in a really odd kind of way. Just like one massive time lapse. But who knows? I'll have to give that one a bit of a think over. But for the time being, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. Oh, and as per usual, you should check out the latest film on the filming channel. It's really quite good. In fact, it's probably my favourite film so far. So hopefully you guys will really, really enjoy it. Link will be on the end screen.